truck.
Oh my God. What have these animals done? What crimes have they committed? What crimes have they committed? Where are they? Hey babies. Hey babies, we're here. We're here, we're here, we're here. We're here. I'm so sorry what our species has done. I'm so sorry for what our species has done. Oh my gosh, guys, we are live. We're live outside of a gas chamber right now here in the UK. What you're looking at right now is a truck with pigs in it waiting to go inside. Hey babies, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. If you can hear us, we're not like the people inside these facilities. We're not the same. We're here to defend you. We're here to show the world what happens here today. We're here to defend every animal that's exploited in this industry. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations are free if you don't care about animals. We're here today to defend the animals. 1, 2 or 3, double tap the screen. Please like, share and subscribe. Let us know where you're from. We're here today not to clash with non-vegans. We're here today not to point fingers, but we're here today to show these individual animals who do matter. We're here today, our disclaimer, we're not here to cause alarm, harassment or distress. We're not here to cause any forms of intimidation. We're not here to break any laws. We're here today under our right to peaceful protest, our assembly, to use our freedom of speech and to defend these animals because we have bodily autonomy, we have freedom. They don't. They have everything taken from them. Today, these animals are going to face a gas chamber. I'm so sorry. We're not like these people.
I can't get the live on the
yeah,
pigs in
don't worry. Don't worry. I can get them in here. I can hear them moving. I can hear them moving. I'm trying not to be too loud because I don't want to stress them too much. I just want them to know that we love them. We're here. I'm so sorry for what my species has done. I'm ashamed for what our species has done. Let me see if there's more up here as well.
Yeah.
Let me see if
at
there's
the
more.
very top there'll be some too.
I'm so sorry. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, are 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. We're here today to defend them. We're here today to show the world this evil. This is the gas chamber. These animals here will be gassed today. We have just passed the truck on the way here to this slaughterhouse. This slaughterhouse here gasses piglets. It's 6 months old. I'm so sorry. Oh God, it smells really bad. I'm so sorry. Their little eyes looking out at me. Hey darling, I'm so sorry. I wish I could save you. The only way I can save you is by good people listening to our message. When good people hear what we're trying to do, it means that this violence stops. It means that it ends. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. These animals here are waiting outside of a gas chamber here in the UK. This is a slaughterhouse, guys. Hey babies, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for what you're about to witness. I'm so sorry for what you're going to have to endure. I'm going to do everything I can. I'm never going to stop exposing these industries. I will never let the world forget that you were here today. I promise you. I promise you with all my heart, I will never let you down. I will never stop fighting. I will remember you, and I will not let the world forget that this happened to you today. I can't stop it. I can't. I wish I can. I wish I could stop it so much. I wish I could end this. I wish I could take you all right now to a sanctuary. I wish I could give you the mercy that you deserve. I wish I could give you the freedom and the love you deserve. But the industry that these animals are trapped in, it takes everything from them. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals.
Steve,
we're not here today.
Who's in here?
There are pigs inside this truck here. These pigs inside of here will be around 6 months old. 6 months old, little piglets. Oh
Can you
my
see
God.
inside there?
Say again?
Can you see inside there?
I think you can see through these gaps here. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. We're here spending some time in their last moments, trying to tell them that we love them, letting them know that we care about them, letting them know that they do matter. What happens here today is nothing short of an evil atrocity. These animals want to live. These animals do not want to die. They do not want to be killed. For optional products like bacon sandwiches or sausages, this is an absolute horrific injustice, and it needs to stop. It needs to end. Let me see if I can go around the other side. Let me see if there's anyone here. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these, 3 if you don't care about animals.
Make sure you really stick that camera on the truck.
Yeah.
So you can see.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it'll be blurry. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. I see them. Look, you can see my screen here.
Let me zoom in on that camera.
Can you see my screen? Oh, you poor angel. I'm so sorry.
They're about to
I will
move.
never stop. We will never stop.
I'm sorry, baby.
We will never stop. I promise you. I promise you. We will never stop.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, guys, I could be louder now because I don't want to be louder right in front of the animals because I don't want to cause alarm and distress for them because they're about to witness, or not witness, they're about to experience some of the most horrific horror you could ever believe. They're about to be gassed alive. They're about to be put inside of a CO2 gas chamber where they're going to burn from the inside out. Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. The likes get the room going so that as these trucks are coming, we can show you more and more animals. We can show you more and more of the truth. It's been a hectic start to today's live stream. We've actually passed trucks on the way here. We've saw them in the lay-bys. We had to stop for fuel on the way here, and they didn't think that we knew where they were coming. Well, we know exactly where they're coming because we do our research on these places. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. We know exactly where they're coming, and this is why we're here today, to expose the truth, to show you the reality, to be transparent, to show the consumer the eyes and the ears of the victims going inside of a gas chamber for an optional product like a bacon sandwich. Did you know? In fact, I know you don't know. I know that over 80% of the public do not know that piglets at 6 months old go inside gas chambers.
Yeah.
When I spoke to chickens, by the way, are 18 months old, and broiler chickens are 42 days old, and these piglets are 6 months old, when they all go to gas chambers, his reaction was priceless. He nearly fell over. He took a step back and was like, what? Now, this guy didn't know. Why didn't he know? Because the industry don't want the consumer to know, and this is exactly why we're here today. Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to this conversation. Triggered troll, and perfect timing for a number 3.
Yeah.
That's a number 3 there, guys. That's someone who's anti-vegan. That's someone who thinks it's okay to bully and exploit and kill innocent animals for optional products, for taste pleasure, for religious reasons, for cultural reasons, for convenience, for social pressure, for any other nonsense excuse. And if you were the victim, none of them excuses would wash. I can now talk to you with a normal tone of voice. When we were up close with the animals, the last thing I wanted to do is come in here and start screaming and shouting and cause them extra alarm and distress. So anyone joining that live stream, apologies if the audio was quiet. We had to be quiet around the animals. Now, if you didn't hear our disclaimer, let me go back through our disclaimer. We're here today not to cause alarm, harassment, distress, or any form of intimidation. We're here today under our lawful right to protest, our right to assembly and use our freedom of speech. We're also not here today to clash with any non-vegans. We're not here to point fingers at you, to shame you, and to say that we're better people for being vegan and you're not. That's not our objective. Our objective here today is to stop them animals going inside that slaughterhouse. And the only way that them animals stop going inside that slaughterhouse is number 2's kind, compassionate people staying here and listening to our message and understanding why we're here, understanding why vegans are outside of a slaughterhouse, because we want to turn your head against the industry who have lied to you. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, be open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. I'm live with Mel outside of a slaughterhouse here. This is a Pilgrim's Pride slaughterhouse. This slaughterhouse behind me is a gas chamber. They use CO2 gas to execute 6-month-old piglets for bacon sandwiches. CO2 gas forms carbonic acid on any mucousy membrane, on their eyes, on their lungs, and these animals will burn from the inside out. It's an absolutely horrific and agonizing death. If you go to Pignorant on Amazon Prime, you will see what happened on the inside of these places. You can see the truth for yourself. Pigs have been known to rip limbs off, rip feet off, trying to evade and escape the gas. It's fear-inducing, it's terror-inducing, it's absolutely horrific to witness, and I've never heard a sound like what comes out of a gas chamber with piglets. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to why we're here and why we're stood outside of a gas chamber here live in the UK. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. Remember, we're not here to come against you and attack you. We're here to come and educate you, to let you know exactly what we know, because when good people, when number 2 see and hear the truth, they go vegan because it's the logical, consistent thing to do. If you already morally consider animals like dogs and cats, then what's stopping you morally consider pigs and chickens and lambs and sheep and fish? What's the difference? What does one animal have that the other one doesn't, that means that you don't morally consider them when it comes to your dinner choices, to your clothing choices, to your cosmetic choices, to your entertainment choices? If we took every single one of them industries that exploit animals and swap the animal to a dog, would you still support that industry? I don't think you would. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. We're here outside of a slaughterhouse here in the UK. This is a gas chamber.
Sorry, I was still pointing to the camera. Show everyone the pigs that we just captured.
Here. See if you can get it up.
I'll get it up while you keep talking.
Mel's going to get it up. Guys, when we come around the corner, there was a truck here in the lay-by. Now, we have to calculate our approach, very calculated, because as soon as we're here to show you the reality and the truth, What will happen is these barriers behind me will just stay up. The trucks will drive straight past us, straight in. Now, why? Why do they not want the consumer to see the reality? Why do they not want the consumer to see the animals when they go inside these places? If these places are humane, if they are ethical, if it is all okay, then what is stopping us from filming the animals and showing you, the consumer? I'll tell you what's stopping. Number twos being compassionate, kind, non-vegans, because the industry don't want number twos to see the reality and the truth. Oh, it smells really bad here. One in the chat if you're vegan. In the chat, if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations and you're wondering why we're outside of a slaughterhouse and free, if you don't care about animals, please make sure you've subscribed and double tap the stream to like it. We need over 100 likes as soon as possible before the next truck turns up.
I'm just going to show everyone the pigs that we caught earlier.
Show everyone the pigs.
He goes, this was at a petrol station. Look at these poor animals. Look at their eyes in a moment. Look how exhausted they are.
Look at her.
That's the eyes of somebody who's going to a gas chamber today, okay? This is the importance. These are 6-month-old baby piglets who don't want to die. This is how serious this is. This is why this is the most urgent issue of our time.
Put 1 in the chat if you're vegan and you've already removed your support for that violence. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not vegan yet, but you're open-minded to it, why we're here and what we're doing outside of a gas chamber, and you're listening with an open mind and an open heart. Put a 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Put a 3 in the chat if you think that you're a superiority species and you can do whatever you want to do to animals. You can exploit them in any which way you see fit. Put a number 3 in the chat. Double tap the stream, like, share and subscribe. Did you know that piglets go to gas chambers at 6 months old? Did you know that chickens at 42 days old go inside gas chambers? Did you know that 18-month-old egg-laying hens go to gas chambers? Did you know that we have 9 active gas chambers here in the UK? If you click on the description, go into our link tree, go down to Pignorant, watch Pignorant on that link, and you'll see the reality and the truth from inside. I'm going to swap over with Mel.
What I've done, this camera is my camera on our live, so you can check the signal.
Okay.
Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you aren't vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. So we had a hectic morning this morning when we pulled up into the get some petrol. We saw a truck pull up as well, so we ran out, we filmed those pigs that we just showed you. I said to the person, I was like, I know where you're going. I know you're coming to Pilgrim's Pride. And he started getting triggered. He started like making hand movements and stuff. And with the moment we arrived here, there was a truck full of pigs that we just filmed who have now gone inside this evil place. This is a gas chamber, guys. This is a gas chamber. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream and subscribe. Steve, take that, go grab the umbrella quick, just in case. We are not here to hate on you. We're not here to rage bait. We're not here to say you're a bad person. We're here purely to defend the animals from people who are still paying for their oppression, people who are still paying for gas chambers. Piglets are going inside this place today to the gas chamber. Okay, this is the UK right now. The UK, there are 9 active gas chambers for pigs. There are more active gas chambers for other animals, like disabled baby chickens also get sentenced to a gas chamber. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan. I'm just gonna move this because there's a really fast car coming towards me. Don't trust anyone. When you come to a slaughterhouse, don't trust anybody. They are not here for you. They don't care about your safety. I mean, they're taking victims to gas chambers and slaughterhouses. They don't care about anybody. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live stream and subscribe. If you're someone who is like, yeah, I wanna change. I wanna defend the animals. I wanna save animals. This is how you do it. You live vegan, you defend them with everything you have. And if you're a vegan already, but you're not active yet, please join us for the biggest live stream event this world has ever seen for the animals. June 19th, we have activists all around the world. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. Please subscribe. We are not here for us. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be at this gas chamber. But you know who doesn't want to be inside that gas chamber? Animals. The piglets going inside this gas chamber today and every day don't want to be inside there. Pigs literally burn from the inside out. That's what's going to happen to those beautiful faces that you've just seen. They're going to burn from the inside out. They've been known to like cut off limbs trying to escape the gas chamber. When carbonic acid reaches any mucousy membrane, it literally forms a burning sensation through their bodies. They scream for mercy. The screams in these places are harrowing. It's like the screams of hell. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live, please subscribe.
Why don't the consumers and the public know about gas chambers?
They don't want you to know. It's designed so you don't know, okay? So this is why we're not here judging you and we're not here hating anybody on the live stream. The industry are the evil ones. They're the ones who have lied to you. All the industry tell you is things like free range, organic, green grass. Oh, they have the best life. Oh, it's just one bad day. One bad day of murder. It's not one bad day, is it though? Go and see our investigation where we took a non-vegan inside a UK standard pig farm. On our main channel, it's Mel and Steve. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap this live stream and subscribe. Like I said, I'm not here to hate on you. I've just seen something you probably haven't seen yet, and it's because the industry don't want you to see it. You're not a dumb person for not knowing. You're not like silly for not understanding the industries, because they want you to not know. From day one, the moment you were born, you were indoctrinated. You were indoctrinated from birth, nursery rhymes, adverts, TV adverts, adverts on bus stops. Your parents were indoctrinated too, but what chance did you have of ever doing the right thing? Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and please subscribe.
Where are you? What people see on the live stream today?
I'm at a gas chamber today. Please stay on this live stream. This could be the live stream that changes your life for the rest of your life, and it will change the lives of animals. This is a life and death live stream, so please stay here. Ask questions. We will be looking at the comments. Please ask questions. There's amazing activists in the chat. You're going to be seeing today everything that happens outside this facility, okay? Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and please subscribe. You're going to be seeing piglets coming in today, like we showed you in the morning. You're going to be seeing how the workers react to us, how the security react to us, how the triggered man babies react to us, like this person who just beeped as they went out. Let's see if they beep as they come in. Look how fast they're going. Look at the speed of this. Laughing. They don't know how to act. When they're triggered, it's their mindset actually like shuts down. They only can use the emotional mindset. Therefore, they laugh and stuff because they don't know what else to do. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. Please subscribe. Ask any questions right now. Ask why we're here. Ask what have we seen, because I'll tell you what we've seen. When we went into that farm, that pig farm, mothers were giving birth in farrowing crates. If you don't know what a farrowing crate, go to our main channel, it's Mel and Steve, and look at our playlist, How to Turn a Non-Vegan Vegan. It's basically a cage on a concrete floor. They're like lined up. It's about the size of the mother pig themselves. Before I continue the story, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Please double tap the live, like this live, and subscribe. So the farrowing crate is the same size as the mother pig. She cannot move, she can't turn around, she can barely stand up and down on concrete, by the way. She's in these farrowing crates around 4 to 6 weeks, giving birth to her babies. When I walked in there, did you know the first thing I saw? Rats ran away when we opened the door, and I saw that a mother pig had to witness her baby being eaten alive by rats in front of her face, and she couldn't do anything about it because she was trapped. Imagine if that was your baby. Someone's literally killing your baby in front of your face and you can't do anything because you're trapped in a farrowing crate. This is what these mothers have to endure. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. I talk with passion. I talk with fury because the animals need us to. I'm outside a slaughterhouse right now. I'm outside a gas chamber. A gas chamber. Let that sink in. Search Pilgrim Pride. It's a gas chamber. Go watch Pignorant on Amazon Prime so you can see what happens inside these places. Joey Carpenter put the first ever cameras inside UK gas chambers to show everyone the reality.
Pignorant's in our link tree in the description.
Okay, yeah, go to our link in our description, watch Pignorant, see for yourself what happens. It will be the best documentary you watch. It's not really like gory, it's more about how the industries are not transparent, including the RSPCA, including Norfolk Free Range, who was the best award-winning farm, and I cannot believe what they were doing to pigs. Well, I thought that was a truck coming in. Sorry, I'm just going to switch in with Steve.
Yeah, cool, well done, well said. Got the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, listen, we're not here today to clickbait, to rage bait, or to antagonise any non-vegans. Our objective today is to turn non-vegans against the industry. we've said this before in these live streams, that number twos who are compassionate, kind people, when they hear the animal rights message, sometimes they get angry at the vegans. And they get angry at the vegans really because the vegans are holding up a mirror and they know the vegans are right, and it feels uncomfortable to be told that you're immoral and you're unethical. I get why you're angry, but if you give in to that and you actually listen with an open mind and an open heart and you go vegan, that anger quickly turns against the industry.
Yeah.
It's the industry that have lied to you, the industry that have indoctrinated you, the industry make you pay for some of this horrific violence that you never even knew about. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to why we're here today and you're listening in, three in the chat if you don't care about animals, but make sure you double tap the stream and you've liked, shared and subscribed so that we can bring you the truth at various slaughterhouses all over the UK every single week. Our main objective and what we're doing for the animals is transparency, because the industry will never be transparent with the consumer. The industry is a business. We're led to believe that animal agriculture, slaughterhouses and all other industries that exploit animals are some sort of bedrock and pillar of community. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to the conversation, three in the chat if you don't care about animals, double tap the stream and subscribe. We're led to believe that these industries are the cornerstone, the foundations of our society. Without them we'd collapse and civilization would just go implode. It's a load of nonsense. You're taught to fear it because they can run you and they can control you with that fear. The reality is that any industry that exploits animals is nothing more than a business. All it is a business. Profit, loss, bottom line. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, three in the chat if you don't care about animals, double tap the stream, like, share and subscribe. And I just want to say, like any business, when they market to the consumer, they tell the consumer what the consumer wants to hear to make the consumer spend their money.
Yep. Someone just said, why are you vegan? Thank you for your question.
Thanks for your question. I'm vegan because I was opened, I'll tell you why I'm vegan. I watched Joey Carson's video and I was listening to him debate something about the dairy industry, and then I saw footage from inside of a slaughterhouse and I realised that them animals were in there for me. I then no longer wanted to be the reason why animals were exploited, why they suffered, why they were killed, why they were executed, why they had their babies taken away, why they had their bodily autonomy taken away, why they were robbed of their existence. I no longer wanted to be personally accountable for that. So I went vegan because I didn't want any more animals suffering in my name. And that's what simply being vegan is. It's identifying that, you know what, I could be wrong. The industry may have lied to me. The animal rights activists are saying something that I do resonate with, because I don't believe that everyone wants to be violent to animals. I don't believe that everyone is happy to be violent to animals. There are a small percentage of people who work in these industries, people who stab the animals to death, you know, all them kind of people are a lot different to your average number two. What I mean by an average number two, I mean number one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're a kind person with an open mind and an open heart, but you're not vegan yet, but you're listening to what we're saying, three in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the live stream, please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can watch when we go to these places every single week. But I don't believe that the world is inherently bad. But these industries have marketed to the consumer, so the consumer never critically thinks about it. And in fact, you're not only taught to never really think about it, they keep the indoctrination there by using things like the RSPCA Assured logo. They use things like the Red Tractor certification. They use things like the British Standard. How many times have you seen an advert that just says, best of British farming? The fuck's that mean? Best of British farming, what? What farm? Where? Who? This is this indoctrination, it's subliminal messaging, it's subliminal conditioning, so that when the public see that, best of British farming must be good. RSPCA Assured, Red Tractor logo, certification, everything must be fine. I won't think anything more about it, and I'll go to the supermarket and I'll buy milk made from a different animal, I'll buy body parts, I'm going to go to the shop and I'm going to buy a jacket made of their skin, I'm going to buy some shoes made from their skin, and I'm going to go and buy these products that have been tested on these animals, and you never think about it anymore. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to this conversation and you're a kind person, three in the chat if you don't care about the animals and you think that they can be exploited for you in any which way you want. Please double tap the stream, like, share and subscribe.
Just so you know, we've got so many number twos in the room right
Amazing.
now. We have a lot of people asking about protein. We'll just address that maybe quickly.
Amazing. Number twos, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for being in this room and spending your time listening to the message. From the animals, thank you. We're here for them and we represent them, not our own opinions, not anything to do with us. We're here just to represent transparency and facts, and we appreciate you spending your time in here listening. Now, anyone who's thinking about protein, I want you to just simplify it with this. Your body needs nutrients. So when you can get nutrients from plants, then why would you select ingredients that scream for their life inside of a slaughterhouse?
Yeah, well
Think
said.
of it like that. Now, all plants have protein. You can go a healthier route with tofu and seitan, or you can just go a vegan route, which is your like for like, vegan chicken, vegan burgers, vegan sausages. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to these conversations. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share and subscribe. And what I will say to any curious number 2s out there, there are 2 things for you to do. Click in the description here and go on that Linktree link. In that Linktree link, we have got a few links that you need to see. There are documentaries in there like Dominion and Pignorant. There's also Challenge 22 in there. You click on Challenge 22. Anyone who has genuine dietary requirements or worries, you can sign up to Challenge 22 completely free, and you get 22 days of support for all of them questions that you have. But I want you to watch the documentaries first, because I want you to have the animals in your mindset.
A lot of people just entered the room. What's happening? Where are you?
Cool, thank you for being here today, guys. We are outside of a slaughterhouse. This is a UK gas chamber. The facility behind me are gassing animals to death. They use CO2 gas. It forms carbonic acid on any mucousy membrane like eyes and lungs. These animals will burn from the inside out before they're hung up on one leg and then stabbed to death. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're an open-minded, kind person and you're wondering why we're here today outside of a UK gas chamber. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals, but make sure you subscribe and double tap the stream. Make sure that you hit the bell notification so you can be notified of any future streams. We're here today to show you the truth and the reality. I want to make sure that anyone coming in the room knows that we're not here to judge. We're not here to point fingers and say you're a bad person for not being vegan. Our objective is to come alongside you and turn your head against the industry who have lied to you. This industry have made you, a good person, pay for 6-month-old baby piglets to go to a gas chamber. All of you have watched Babe. All of you watched Babe and go, oh, that cute little piggy is so cute. I love it. I hope the Babe's okay. Oh, look how sweet they are. I want to cuddle up with Babe. I want to see Babe and give them belly rubs. Well, if you're not vegan, the reality is you are sending Babe into the facility behind me right now, which is a slaughterhouse, and they're going to experience a gas chamber, and then a knife in the throat, and then a scalding tank, and then their bodies will be chopped up and dismembered and put into packets and sent to supermarkets. 1 in the chat if you're vegan and you've already removed your support for that violence. 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations and why we're here. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream to like it so when the next truck comes you can see the animals, and please subscribe.
Someone just said you can't just make up things like there's gas chambers.
I'm not making things up with his gas chambers. Please, if you don't believe me, in fact, I hope that you don't believe me, but you're curious enough to research this yourself. I hope that my words encourage you to look into this further. And if you want to look into it further, and if you want to see the truth, rather than just spouting an opposed position of nonsense, then go into the description of this live stream, click on the link tree, go down and watch Joey Armstrong and his team's expose, watch Pignorant, see the reality and the truth. Now, these gas chambers behind me, I'm going to tell you something about them, which is absolutely shocking. But first of all, I want 1s in the chats from the vegans, 2s in the chats from the non-vegans who are kind people, and 3 in the chats for the anti-vegans who think that it's okay to exploit animals. Double tap the stream, like, share, and subscribe. Get this right. These slaughterhouses that use these gas chambers, they have to have vets inside these facilities, okay? Now, when the vets asked to view inside the gas chamber whilst the animals were being gassed, the industry denied access. The vets were actually not allowed to see the animals going in there. The industry assured the vets the animals just go to sleep, it's okay, they lay down or they fall asleep. It's just like they're going into a deep sleep, you know, like euthanasia, like a big anesthetic. Well, Joey Armstrong went in there and he put 4K cameras inside the gas chamber himself. And guess what? Them animals weren't falling asleep and just laying down, which would still be wrong, by the way. Them animals were screaming and suffering and induced fear and terror, so much so that they ripped their limbs off. They step on each other, stand on each other, their tiny little snouts reaching the top of the cage, trying to gasp for their last bit of clean air before they go down into CO2 gas. All of this for your bacon sandwich or your sausages. Do these optional products really sound like a justification to be sending 6-month-old piglets or any pig at any age inside of a gas chamber? I don't think they do. And if you agree with me, put a 1 in the chat if you're vegan. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Please double tap the stream and subscribe. Trucks will be coming here today. We're at a live gas chamber here in the UK. The gas chamber is Pilgrim's Pride. You can see behind me there, it says Pilgrims Europe on the gate there. The trucks come past and they go in here. You can see these refrigerated trucks. This is the only way the animals leave. How sadistic is this? The live animals come past here and they drive past Potentially the very refrigerated trucks that their dismembered, executed bodies will be packaged up and wrapped up in and sent to the slaughterhouse. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to these conversations, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Let me get Mel back in.
Yeah, absolutely well said. So anyone's just joined the live stream, we're at a gas chamber right now. I might actually go and ask security if they're going to stop the truck today, see if he knows what's happening here.
Yeah, all right,
just move over slowly, see if the signal's okay. Just keep an eye on it and let me know. Guys, 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you aren't vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. I'm outside a UK gas chamber right now as I speak. Behind me is where they kill 6-month-old pigs, going inside this evil, evil place. Hey, are you all right to stop the trucks today?
Right, guys, you can do what you want, just don't X one side, okay?
Are you all right to stop trucks for a minute? Are you gonna, what was that? Are you gonna see? Just let me know either way so I know. Okay, so they seem quite guarded. Maybe they don't know. Do you know this is a gas chamber? Do you know that pigs actually burn from the inside out in that gas chamber? I came up to you politely just asking if you would stop the trucks and then you ignore me. It's so rude. So rude. Anyone who works in this place is not a victim. Never get confused who the victim is, okay? Every single person in this facility has blood on their hands. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream and subscribe. I think you should watch Pilgrim's Pride, Pignorant, on Amazon Prime, and you see what happens inside this facility. Lots of people who are the security or maybe work in the meat packing side never see inside the gas chamber. You're working at a gas chamber. Let that sink in. What other gas chambers do we know in history that are looked down upon, that are evil, that should never have happened? You're working in a facility that gasses individuals. Let that sit heavy on your shoulders. Good people leave when they know the reality. Everybody deserves a chance to leave. This is your chance to leave. Everybody in this industry. You may be disconnected from the animal to the product that you see, but I've seen those animals. I've looked them in the faces. I've investigated farms. It's evil, these places. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. In fact, when we were here once before, one of the security actually looked like they were going to cry when we were talking. When they could see the piglets going in, they looked like they were going to cry, and I can't see that individual here anymore. Hopefully he's left. We always say if anyone wants to leave the industry, reach out, message us. We'll help you get out of the industries that do this. Nobody should be working here. You can always get another job. Piglets are dying in this facility, inside this gas chamber. They are dying. They are burning from the inside out. These piglets who did nothing wrong, they're little babies who you are eating, and their mothers. They'll put about 6 piglets in a gas chamber at once and they burn from the inside out. They'll put one mother inside on her own. It takes longer for the mother pig to die, so she suffocates and gets tortured for longer. The gas chamber is a torture chamber. They say it's to render them unconscious, but it doesn't. It tortures them until they're slightly unconscious, and then, you know what happens? They stick a knife in their throat and they put them in a boiling tank of water called a scalding tank. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, subscribe, comment, keep asking questions. Like we said, we are not here against you. We are not here to hate on you. We are here purely to defend the animals. That's our only aim. We are not here for any other reason. We want animals to not go inside gas chambers and slaughterhouses. We're defending them. Now, if anyone in the live chat has a child, what would your child do? Send the pigs to a gas chamber or just cuddle them and protect them? We're just going to move back over here for a second because it's slightly raining, so we probably want the umbrella over our stuff. But so you can see, I went up to this guy because sometimes security get hired in and they might not understand what happens in this place. Straight away, he wanted to say his piece, but then he wouldn't respond when I asked the question. So 0 respect there. No, like, I'm not now gonna approach and be like, oh, are you gonna do this? I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna tell you what I think of you now. I'm gonna tell the whole industry what we think of them, because the animals don't want to go inside these places. This is a gas chamber, guys. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. Please subscribe by liking this live. That's what helps push it out to the world to see the animals' faces. When people see those piglets for themselves, they change. They go vegan on the spot.
Drumstein, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. That's very, very
Awesome.
kind of you. Also, to let you know, our signal is much better here, so we should just maybe fix
cool.
until the trucks come past.
Oh God, sorry, it's so windy right now. Just trying to get my camera back on. It's so windy, guys, sorry. We're just gonna try and cover our equipment up so it's not getting rained on. But yeah, guys, so I went over there because I wanted to ask. No, it's a refrigeration truck coming.
Okay.
I wanted to ask them if they're gonna stop the trucks, because some places do. Obviously they're not today. So we're gonna see what happens when the trucks turn up. Maybe they'll stop in the lay-by, I don't know. You're gonna watch this with us live. You're gonna watch this with us live. We've already seen a truck at a petrol station this morning that we know will be coming to this facility most likely. We know they'll be coming here because they weren't too far away. And every pigs, 88% of pigs are sent to gas chambers. This is the closest gas chamber. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Are you here just to rage bait people today?
No, absolutely not. I wanted to speak to that driver. Nah, the guy in front saw me running and he pulled him in. Why aren't these industries transparent? They pride themselves on transparency, right? They pride themselves on transparency, but when you actually come here, they're like, no, I don't want anyone to see anything. I don't want anyone to see the pigs. I don't want anyone to see the industry. I don't want to speak to you.
Okay, I'm not going to zoom in again because the signal was a bit iffy when we zoomed in.
Yeah, cool, no worries. Yeah, guys, we're just playing with where's best here. I think we're in our best spot right now.
Yeah.
We'll just stay in this area. Awesome. Number 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. We're going to be showing you later on as well the piglets that we saw go inside this. The piglet that we saw at the petrol station, who will likely be going inside this facility today. We came this morning, there was a truck pulled on the side here, and we used the camera to film them, which I'll be making some videos of later on our channels. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Where can people go if they want to see inside this place?
Yeah, guys, double tap this live stream and subscribe. Go and watch Pignorant on Amazon Prime. It's in the link in the description. See for yourself what happens on the inside. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and subscribe.
Okay, we got a super thanks here with a statement.
Yeah.
I'm not vegan and will never be vegan, but I admire your passion. Meat just tastes too good for me to stop. But animals are living souls, unfortunately.
So, but when you say, I will never be vegan, that's one of the most saddest things that you could say. Because what that means is that you will always be someone hurting, torturing, abusing, mutilating animals, paying, whenever you pay for animal products, that's what you're paying for. Okay, so everyone before they went vegan likely said, I will never be vegan, because they didn't understand what vegan was. Vegan is just someone who doesn't oppress animals. And I think if you go watch Dominion on YouTube, it might change your mind, because your mind will never be able to make up what happens to the animals because your mind is too innocent. Now, when I saw inside, I changed on the spot. I never thought I'd be vegan. I didn't know what it was. But when I saw the animals and I saw what happened to them, nothing could justify the taste or any greedy taste pleasure or any greedy anything for me. We don't need to do it. We shouldn't do it. Get the vegan alternative. Everything tastes the same and better. Nothing changes for you. 1 in the chat if you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. And 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. This is the truck. This is the truck from earlier.
This is it.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to get you from here because I don't want the signals to go bad.
I'm pretty sure this is the truck.
Yeah. Go down, go down.
Can I put that next to you?
Yeah,
so
just
I
leave
can
it
run?
there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, be careful.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
Okay, so this is the truck we saw.
Look, they're open. They're not going to let it in. Go down.
I knew where you were coming. I knew where you were coming. I knew you were coming here. I'm sorry, babies. I'm sorry, babies. Why do you work here? How could you? They're little babies on there. How could you? They are baby piglets, 6 months old. What grown person would work at a gas chamber? It's disgusting. How dare they work here? This is shameful. Nobody should do this. Nobody. These places should not exist. This is hell on earth. This is evil. That was the truck we saw at the petrol station. The guy said he's not coming here. I said, I know where you're coming. I said, I know you're coming to Pilgrim's Pride gas chamber. He was like, no. And he started making like hand movements at me and stuff. I knew where I was coming. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan.
Just look to the left of the screen and you'll see the back here of the truck. They've rushed them past them barriers
Can we
and then
switch
they've
quick?
held them there. Let's switch in. Well done. You did really good then. Guys, they're rushing these trucks in today because they don't want the public seeing the animals. Now, what industry would be so ashamed as to not allow you to see the animals if they're so proud, if this is so transparent, if this industry is so humane? Why the secrecy? Why, when activists turn up with the cameras, do we all of a sudden rush trucks into these facilities? When we turned up today unannounced and caught them off guard, there was a truck waiting in this lay-by. Everyone was relaxed, the barriers were down, no one was rushing around, the pigs were sitting in the truck here, we spent a good 3 or 4 minutes with them. We turn out with a camera, 1 lens to live stream, and all of a sudden, 2 security guards rushing in trucks. Silence, they won't even respond to any questions.
Yeah.
Trucks driving by into the lay-by here and waiting so that you can't see the animals. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open to why we're here and you're a kind person. 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, please like, share and subscribe. The transparency is bullshit. The honesty is bullshit. The industry is evil.
Yeah.
The industry lies. The industry humane washes. The industry is a business. The industry markets to the consumer what the industry wants the consumer to know and see, and never critically think about it, because if any of that chain doesn't work, their profit margins drop, they don't make the bottom line, and these animals will be safe. They don't want that to happen. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share and subscribe. We're not here today to attack non-vegans, to point our fingers at you and say you're a bad person. That's not our objective. We talk with fury, we talk with intensity, because it is. This isn't a matter of difference of opinion. This isn't just I like that, you like that, and we should both like what I like. That's not the case. Innocent beings are being sent to death today.
Yeah.
They're going to be killed today in a gas chamber, electrocuted, stabbed, knockbox, bolt gun, however you like, halal, whatever.
Yeah.
Animals are dying for unnecessary reasons. This is no justification. Be vegan. Don't be violent.
The baseline. Some peak. Thank you for your super thanks. But
Thank you.
like I said, I admire your passion, but I don't agree. Good luck to your movement. I don't touch pigs at all, so I guess that's a silver lining.
No chance. No chance. This is a tactic that a lot of people do,
Yeah.
and we won't fall for it. We won't fall for it. I want you to know that any money that you've donated will go directly towards defending all animals, including the animals that you kill.
Yeah.
So your money, this is the disconnect, right? People think that if I tell you that I believe and I admire your passion, but I'm going to continue to do this, they think that vegans are going to meet them with that same neutral ground. Like, okay, well, thanks, I respect you, you respect me. Fuck no. I will never respect anybody who knowingly sends an innocent animal to their death and just says, you do you, I admire your passion. Fuck your admiration. I don't want you to admire me. I don't want you to admire us. I don't care what you think about us. We're not here today for us. We're here today for them. We're here today to show the world what they face. They're the focus of everything. Our passion and everything is nothing to do with it. We're here today to defend the animals. They must come first and foremost. You can't say that I respect vegans and I respect your position, I respect what you're trying to do for the animals at the same time as you're paying for it to happen. It doesn't work. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to these conversations, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. We're going to show you the animals today from these trucks, from that very truck that came past.
Yeah.
That green truck that came past, when he said that you don't know where I'm going, and Mel said, yes I do. I know where you're fucking going. You're going to a gas chamber. And he didn't know what to say. And he then stalled, and now look, he's driven past us, and he must have thought, oh my gosh, they did know where I was going.
Yeah.
And these are the very victims, the eyes and the ears and the noses and the eyes, the gaze of hope, the gaze of potentially are we being liberated, the gaze of maybe today is the day we're free. But no. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, 3 in the chat if you believe the animals on the screen that you can see right now deserve to be put inside of a gas chamber for a bacon sandwich. Do the eyes deserve to be closed forever for a sausage, for a taste pleasure? Do them animals deserve to have everything taken from them for your selfish desires? Then you put a number 3 in the chat. But if you're a kind person, if you're a good person, if you do care, if you do have empathy, but you're just not vegan yet, maybe you've never seen any animal rights messaging, maybe you've never understood this, I bet you didn't even know that there were 9 active gas chambers here in the UK alone, then put a number 2 in the chat. Thank you for being in here. Thank you for listening to us trying to defend the animals. The only way that this evil stops is by you taking action, number twos. Number one, thank you. Put the number ones in the chat for the legendary vegans who defend animals, and you've already removed your support for the violence of the industry. Please subscribe and hit the bell notifications. Double tap the screen. We're here today to show the transparency, to force it. The industry won't. The industry would never market this business with honesty, because if it did, it wouldn't be a business, it would never be successful.
Someone's just basically sent us a super thanks saying plants are alive.
Yeah, cool. Plants are alive. Yeah, thanks for the super thanks. Thank you for helping us to defend animals. Yes, plants are alive. If your point is that plants feel pain, no, they don't. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, be open-minded to these conversations, and three in the chat if you don't care about animals. Saying things like plants are alive, plants feel pain, when you see these 6-month-old piglets going inside of a gas chamber is absolutely moronic to me. Do you think that watching someone cut the grass...
Laughing.
Do you think that watching someone cut the grass is the same as watching these pigs go inside of a gas chamber? Of course it's not, absolutely. It's just ridiculous analogies. Guys, we're here today to show you the truth. Imagine an industry that was transparent. Imagine that when you went to the supermarket, on that packet of bacon, it had the eyes and the ears of what Mel showed you a second ago of them animals who were going inside of a gas chamber to die. Imagine if it said these animals were killed using CO2 gas chambers. They were then hoisted up by one leg on a shackle and stabbed to death before they met a scalding tank to remove their hairs. Enjoy your bacon sandwich. Would you still pick up that bacon sandwich? Imagine if you went to the egg section and said, by the way, at 18 months old, all the egg-laying hens couldn't continue to keep up with the production rate of eggs, so we sent them to a gas chamber too and put them into pies. But don't worry, we've got a fresh batch of chickens coming by who are going to continue to be exploited for their eggs. Keep buying these eggs. Would you pay for the chickens' bodies who were 42 days old, forced into the size of an adult's body so quick, because profit comes over everything? Guys, one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're listening to what we're saying with an open mind and an open heart. Three in the chat if you're not vegan and you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, hit the bell notification with a subscription. If you don't believe everything I'm saying today and you want to know more, go into the description link, hit the link tree, go and watch Pictoran, go and watch Dominion, sign up to Channel 22, go to our main channel, watch our investigations. We investigated a pig farm here in the UK. Go to our playlist on our main channel. There's a 3-part documentary in there that we filmed, how to turn a non-vegan vegan. When we take a non-vegan into a pig farm here in the UK, 2 in the morning, we went in and we showed him the reality, and then guess where we took him? We took him to this very spot to show the world that this is not about welfare. This is not about greener grass, bigger pens, sharper knives, or more concentrated CO2 gas. This is about animal rights. This is about animal liberation. This is about morally considering every animal and giving them a right to their bodily autonomy, a right to their freedom, a right to their protection, a right to safety, a right to the basics. Now, if you asked me to define slavery, I would say taking everything from someone and giving them a number. Guess what we fucking do to animals? We take everything from them and we give them a fucking number. And then when we want to, we bring them to a gas chamber, we take them to a slaughterhouse, and we execute them for a fucking block of cheese, for a sandwich, for a chocolate bar, for a fucking yogurt. This is ridiculous. Wake up. I can't believe I'm stood here. I can't believe. I'm going to take one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, be open-minded to these conversations, and three in the chat if you don't care about animals. I can't believe that these people here are the same species as me, and yet these people will willingly take these animals, drive them around the corner, offload them on the trucks, willingly walk them forward onto the fucking kill floor, willingly push them into a gas chamber, willingly slide them out the bottom of the gas chamber, shackle them, and then there's someone in there stabbing these animals to death. What is it that as soon as you go over this fucking yellow and black boundary, morals just don't exist, ethics just don't exist past that point? And then what happens? When these people come back past, do all of a sudden do they download their ethics and morals and then go into society? When you go to the supermarket, your little children are stood next to the same person who stabs animals to death every single day. Imagine that. Think of that. Think of when you go to the supermarket, that guy there could potentially be executing animals all day long, and he stood next to your child. One in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan. Be open-minded to these conversations, and three in the chat if you don't care about animals.
Kaylee, thank you so much for your kind super thanks. Just put number threes will do anything to avoid the truth and remove the guilt, because they know they'll have to make change. They're weak people. Well said.
Absolutely well said. Thank you so much for helping us to defend the animals. Absolutely well said. Number threes are embarrassing. I know that the world is not the majority is vegan, but the majority of the world are not number threes. The majority of the world are number twos. They're kind, compassionate people who just don't know any better yet. Oh my God. When people know the truth, you then stand an educated chance of making the right decision. And I don't believe that if you said to your average person, by the way, 6 months old piglets are gassed, they go, I don't care. I don't believe the average person will do that. It will affect them. Whether they let you know it's affected them or not, they'll take it in. Like I said yesterday, the guy who we mentioned it to yesterday nearly fell on the floor with the information that he just received. 1 in the chat if you're vegan and you've already removed yourself away from this industry. 2 in the chat if you are a non-vegan who is a kind, compassionate person and open to what we're doing here today. And 3, if you don't care about animals. Let me just tag in with Mel.
Yeah, well said. So I want to tell you guys something that you probably don't know. In the farms, they do something called knocking. What that means is when a piglet is not growing fast enough, they will take this pig who's about this big, they will pick the pig up from the back of their legs and smash their head on the floor. This is called knocking. Go and see on Animal Justice Project just released major investigations in Cranswick showing them doing this. You should see the abuse, the torture these poor individuals have faced upon them. They're stuck in cages. They're stuck in a cage which is the size of them, getting beaten in the face, getting kicked. You know what also happens in these farms? These people in these farms, we have seen investigations where they have literally done the most evil acts to these animals. It begins with R, forcing themselves inside the animals. Dairy farmers do that all the time. They put a cow in a cattle crush and they stick their arm up to their shoulder right inside of her and inject with bull semen and make her pregnant. That's what they do to dairy cows. Dairy cows are not dairy cows, they're just mothers. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, subscribe, comment, share, keep asking questions. We have awesome vegans in the room. We've got ex-slaughterhouse inspectors in here and workers in the room as well who are now vegan. Please, we are at a slaughterhouse right now. In fact, we are at a gas chamber. A gas chamber where they kill baby piglets. Mother pigs, they burn from the inside out. They scream for their life. I've listened to their screams. I've listened to their screams for their life. Have you? Have you ever looked a victim in the eyes before they come out? Before they go into a gas chamber? I have. Have you ever stroked the nose of an individual before they get stabbed in the throat? I have. Why? Why would you do this? Why would you do this? They were baby piglets on there. How could you? Shame on you. Shame on anyone who works in a slaughterhouse. Evil people work here. In my opinion, they're the lowest of the low and they should be put in prison for what they do to animals. If they were humans inside this place, we would call this place something else in history, right? Because this is a gas chamber. They're gassing piglets. They're gassing mother pigs. How could you? Shame on you. Shame on you! You're a disgusting human! You're not human, disgusting! Laughing, smiling, because they don't know what else to do. They were victims, real life victims on here. Look, even number plate is pig. Evil. They think it's funny. There's some sadistic, twisted mindset thinking it's funny to mock the animals, to farm animals, and then take them to a gas chamber and gas them to death and leave them. They think it's funny to do that. Because they laugh when they come out. They laugh when they go in. But there's babies on that truck who are begging, screaming for their life right now behind these gates of evil inside a gas chamber. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap the live stream and subscribe. I hate seeing the drivers leave. I hate knowing that they have a right to freedom because of human rights. Knowing that they've left the individuals who don't have rights yet, the animals who have no one protecting them, they've left the most innocent inside a gas chamber because they don't have rights and the humans do. It's wrong. We should all have the right to our own life. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, and 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream, subscribe, comment. We are not here for ourselves. We are here as a matter of urgency against the biggest war that this world has ever seen, waged upon the most innocent, childlike beings. The war upon the animals has been happening since the moment we got on this earth, and it's still happening today. It never ends. It's a conveyor belt of murder, conveyor belt of killing, conveyor belt of gas chambers. In fact, on the way here, We saw a chicken truck go into another gas chamber. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream. Please subscribe. Ask questions. We have amazing activists in the chat who can answer any questions that we're missing. We'll pick out a few to answer those as well.
What turned you vegan?
The dairy industry. I watched Joey Carbstrong, go and subscribe to him, talking about the dairy industry. I wasn't vegan for 26 years of my life. I was drinking cow's milk and I was having everything. I was taking everything from animals. I didn't realise because of the disconnect. You may not realise. Number 2, you may not realise this. I saw inside of a slaughterhouse and they were killing the mother cow from the dairy industry. I did not know that cows only produce milk for their babies. I did not know that they have pregnancy forced upon them. And I did not know that every single cow is killed. Every single male calf is killed about this big, tiny little male calf because they don't produce any milk. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you're not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. I didn't know any of this and you don't know any of this as well if you're a number 2 because they make you not know. When was the last time on TV that you saw them taking away their babies? When was the last time on an advert did you see the industry picking up piglets and smashing their head on the floor? When was the last time that you saw when they pick up the little piglets when they've just been born and cut their tails off with scissors with no anaesthetic? When was the last time that you saw them mutilate their genital area, dismember them? Well, with no anaesthetic. When was the last time the industry showed you that? Because they don't show you. When good people see the truth, they change and they go vegan on the spot. There's no thinking about it. There's no baby steps. There's no, oh, I'm great because I don't need pigs. No, you've got to be vegan. It's the moral baseline. 1 in the chat if you're vegan. 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet. 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live and subscribe. We're at a slaughterhouse right now. Breaks my heart being here. There's a flipping gas chamber behind me. This is a gas chamber. Behind me, there's actual people with a brain inside of here doing this to animals. Obviously, their brain is turned off though, isn't it? How could anybody with an ounce of compassion, empathy, or a heart work in these places doing this? They listen to the screams of the piglets whilst eating the sandwiches right next to the gas chamber. I've seen them. I've seen them. I've witnessed for myself. This isn't just like hearsay. This isn't made up. This is literally what we have seen with our own eyes. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but you aren't vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you are anti-vegan. Double tap this live. Please subscribe.
Where can people see inside?
Go to our link in our description and go and watch Pignorant on Amazon Prime. It's not your fault that you don't know, but you have a duty to look. And then you have a duty to change. And then we got to fight for them with everything that we have. The animals only have us. It's a gas chamber. It's a gas chamber in here. Don't go in here. Yeah, you're all right, but the pigs aren't. This is a gas chamber. You do not have a right to laugh and joke around. You work at a slaughterhouse. Oh yeah, I'm all right, yeah, you're all right. No, the pigs aren't all right though, are they? Because they're being gassed to death behind these gates of evil. They're being gassed inside there. They burn from the inside out. If you don't believe me, go and watch Pignorant on Amazon Prime. I talk with passion and fury, but it is not hatred towards you. It's hatred at the industry as a whole. Not individuals, the whole industry. It's evil. The dairy industry, the pig industry, the wool industry, the egg industry, the fishing industry, animal testing industry, horse racing, greyhound racing, zoos, aquariums. All animal oppression is wrong. We should just live without it. It's so easy. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're open-minded but not vegan yet, 3 in the chat if you're anti-vegan. Double tap this live stream and subscribe. I'm not here to hate on you. I'm here just to defend the animals. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything wrong and we treat them worse than paedophiles. We treat them worse than murderers. The innocent. They're innocent children, what these animals are. And they look out to you for help. I know that some people who worked in the industry who are now out said even when they were working there, they could see that the animals were looking at them for help. They were still looking at the workers for mercy. They didn't get any. They killed them. They brutally slaughtered them. That's what happens to these childlike beings because you're paying with your money. This is a consumer thing that we can stop. The public can stop. This is the great thing about this injustice is in your hands. If you're paying for animal products, you pay their wage. No one else. You pay their wage. Which is why when I saw I immediately removed myself from the industry, I couldn't live with myself paying for that. I didn't care if I died 20 years younger. I couldn't pay for someone else to be stabbed in the throat for their breast milk in my tea. I think that's ridiculous. I didn't care. It's just a benefit that I can be healthy on a plant-based diet. And it's just a benefit that is better for the environment and actually everything. But it's only about the animals. I'd still be vegan if it was bad for the environment. I'd still be vegan if it was unhealthy for me. But it's just a benefit that everything literally is like, if you're vegan, everything else gets better and the animals are not oppressed. Just going to switch in with Steve.
Yeah, nice one. Well said. Guys, one in the chat if you're vegan, two in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, and three in the chat if you don't care about animals. We just got to leave them phones exactly dead straight, because any movement or even zooming, because of course we're in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Because if people saw this, if this was on your doorstep, people would know about it, and they don't want to know about it. Because if people know about it, then people change from a number 2 to a number 1. 1's for vegans, 2's for non-vegans who are kind people, 3 for anti-vegans. I see a lot of anti-vegan comments, but I just want to just take a moment to address all the anti-vegan nonsense comments. I see a lot of like alpha comments in there like, oh, vegans are bitches, oh, vegans are... Let me tell you right now that vegans are more alpha than any of you triggered anti-vegans right now. To be vegan, it means a lot of things. You have a strong heart, you have a strong character. Your character has the ability to stand up against the majority, against an injustice, even if you are in the minority. That takes a strong character and a strong heart to be able to stand up and say this is wrong, even though I'm in the minority, even though I'm going to be laughed at, even though I'm going to be potentially ostracized, even though it makes me stand out from the crowd, it makes it hard for me, I'm going to do that. Vegans are fucking 10 times stronger than any of you NPCs, anti-vegans, who just follow the crowd. You don't have the ability to critically think. You're selfish. You have a superiority complex. You're effectively just a fucking moron. That's you, number 3s. I want you to know that every vegan looks at you in the same way that I've just described. You're a fucking idiot. And if anyone can mock animals on the way in to a slaughterhouse, then I pray and I wish that if there is a God, that he swaps your places with them, and then we can all laugh and mock you as you drive past us. I tell you right now, if you were in their position after mocking them going in there, I wouldn't be stood here trying to get you out. I'll be stood here waving you in. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, but you're open-minded to these conversations, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals, if you laugh at them on the way into a slaughterhouse, if you're a despicable, evil person. Double tap the live stream, please like, share and subscribe. Now, what I describe as an anti-vegan, they are the minority. Like Mel said, they're the small percentage of people who would go alongside people who would think it's okay to force themselves on others, kill people, rob people. They are the minority, but we need to address them, and they need to be highlighted for what they are. Now, if you're not a vegan, but you're a kind person, you're not laughing at the animals going into slaughterhouses, and it does affect you, you do have empathy, then I really appreciate you being on this live stream and listening to what we have to say. And I would love it if you went into the description, and if you went and watched Dominion, Pignorant, and signed up to Challenge 22 to educate yourself further on what we're doing. Because when you have the education, when you have a kind and compassionate heart, and them 2 elements meet, you go vegan. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan but you're open-minded to this conversation, 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the live stream. Please like, share and subscribe.
Someone just said, is this AI?
No, this isn't AI. This is live right now. It is 5 to 11 on the 12th of June here. We're in the UK outside of Pilgrims, Europe. This is Pilgrims Pride. This is a gas chamber. This one here kills pigs. So this isn't AI, this is live. If you want to go into the description and watch Pignorant and watch Dominion, again, that was all undercover investigations. If you want to go to our main channel and watch the 3-part playlist, which is how to turn a non-vegan vegan, all of that has been filmed. This isn't AI, this is real. We are here right now, we are live. We are bringing you, the consumer, the transparency and the truth.
There's other issues than the animals. Why is this person fighting for animals?
There is no bigger issue than what the animals face right now. Like Mel said a minute ago, animals have been executed and exploited before any other injustice ever even was taking place. And when them injustices finish, the animals are still being executed and exploited throughout and after. The animals are the biggest issue. They are the #1 issue that we should be addressing. Not only are they executed and exploited throughout the whole of history, they're mocked and laughed at whilst it's happening. 1 in the chat if you're vegan, 2 in the chat if you're not vegan, be open-minded to these conversations, and 3 in the chat if you don't care about animals. Double tap the stream, like, share and subscribe. By the way, you can also be vegan and stand up against them other injustices. But if you really want to preach peace, how can you preach peace when there's violence on your plate? Thank you to all the vegans in the live stream today. Thank you to all the super thanks. Thank you for all the chats, the likes, the shares and the comments. Thank you for defending the animals with us. Please make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification. We'll be back next week showing you more, exposing more truth and transparency that the industry does.